How are you guys doing? This is Ryan. Welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I wanted to do a reaction video to Roger Ver on Tucker Carlson. That caught me by surprise. I had no idea that Roger was actually going to speak in public about his arrest and facing 109 years in prison, as he has been quiet ever since his arrest in Spain and they've been seeking extradition back to the United States to bring him to trial. So we got to hear from Roger the first time on a major platform from Tucker Carlson, and that got millions of views. So my reaction, I was really blown away that Roger spoke. I understand that he was in a Charlie Kirk interview before and had someone speak for him, as he was concerned that things he does and says can be used against him. And then in this video, I think he really took the gloves off and spoke pretty candidly on how he felt and digging his heels into his side. He's going to certainly fight this. That appears to be where he's at. And the biggest thing I want to take away, is I want to jump into Roger specifically, but I want to say this is tremendous blowback from the establishment. The establishment meaning that that Bitcoin has been infiltrated, and they want to suppress peer-to-peer electronic cash. And now, because of this arrest, they thought they could put him in jail and make him be quiet. This massive blowback now. The book came out, and this is bigger than probably any media tour could have done for him, is him unfortunately have to face potentially 109 years in prison over an interpretation to an exit tax. So that was the biggest jumping out point. It's like, holy cow, they want to subvert cryptocurrency. They want to make Bitcoin unuseful and just a store of value thing that Michael Saylor talks about how it's property, like it's a Manhattan and it's digital energy and all these techno-babble words that Bitcoin has become, in a very unuseful currency, and it'll do very little for most of the world and become a speculative asset and probably a spy tool for governments if they do adopt it, so they can put everyone in custodian accounts. So it's like, holy cow, now the word's out. Now this got millions of views. And actually one of the biggest things is, I feel like this was, really exciting because Elon Musk commented on it, and Elon Musk obviously has the president's attention and could move on a preemptive pardon and just have this case dropped and start read Roger's book. And I know the two have spoke before about cryptocurrency, and I know that Elon Musk is not a small blocker. I know that he wanted to expand Doge, and he spoke to Elon about it, and he understands that Bitcoin makes no sense. And most people are going to understand this. And I want to drop one other thing in my reaction to the video. If you go down in the comments, they are predominantly pro Roger, but then there are still these sick individuals that from the Bitcoin maximalists that still want to attack him. But you know what? They, as I was reading them, I was like, holy cow, they're becoming the Kamala Harris of cryptocurrency. They are the establishment, and they're relying on this corporate legacy narrative when the truth is getting out, and people have a lot of other ways to learn about truth, and it's getting to smarter people now to speak about it. And many people, smart people, have spoke about it, the issues of Bitcoin before, but they had the establishment, they had the mainstream narrative, and it's really starting to dwindle away. They really took over the narrative in 2017, as Roger talked about in the video. That leading up to that, they took over all the Bitcoin Reddits, big subreddits, BitcoinTalk.org. They took over, essentially all the media platforms that were platforming Bitcoin for people to come and learn about it. And now, people are engaging in much more, many more spaces. Crypto Twitter is absolutely huge. It always has been. But yeah, jumping back into the interview, it's really awesome to see the reaction from the public and major people in media. Tucker's probably one of the biggest people in media to be covering this and to understand, yeah, I remember Bitcoin was supposed to be this way to do transactions. And then people in the comment section still say Bitcoin wasn't hijacked. It was supposed to be used as a means of exchange, and now it is not. How has it not been hijacked? You might say, there is some information that the CIA had involvement. There's obviously strange things that happen to change the narrative, and it's rather conspiratorial in that nature, but there's no conspiracy that Bitcoin was supposed to be peer-to-peer electronic cash, and predominantly was the main idea to grow on chain. And it always worked terrific before. Bitcoin Cash, as an example, works terrific on chain. You can absolutely increase the block size and have, and it works. It's a great currency, just as one example. So touching on that, clearly Bitcoin has been hijacked, and this will bring more people to read the book. Hopefully Tucker reads the book. It's a fantastic book. Hopefully you read the book. I'll have a couple things linked in the description. I will have, of course, freeroger.org. Sign that petition. That'll only help. And I'll put the Amazon link in there as well. It's not an affiliate link or anything. I just want people to read the book. But a lot of more smart people are going to read the book and understand the true history of Bitcoin, because what Roger's saying is just what happened, and everything's cited in there. It's a very well written book by him and Steve Patterson, which deserves a lot of credit as well. So my reaction to that, and then Roger talking through his history of being persecuted by the Department of Justice, being arrested before for speaking out against the government. When he was when he was attacked, when he was arrested for selling firecrackers online, for example. And there's just another step in that. So he covered that. He also talked about where his bullish stances on cryptocurrency are today. And Roger seems huge into privacy, and probably more than ever before, seeing how important privacy is, because any of these watch tools, make you, subjected to the state saying, oh, you did this, so I'm gonna now do that to you. It's absolutely terrifying. It's made me almost myself more fearful to speak about like freedom and these what I thought to be very American principles, because the government that we have had here for a long time, not pointing at just like Kamala Harris or I'm not saying Bush was terrible, all these other people, but I have this sense of optimism now that I do think I will be let down on. I talked about that in my endorsement for Donald Trump. I've been a libertarian my whole life. But I feel like libertarians have done a lot to infiltrate the Republican Party, and actually have a lot of libertarian principles now getting built into the government: anti-war, balancing the budget, reducing the size of government, free speech, just in his personal liberty in general. So privacy, he talked a lot about Zeno and Monero. Then he also talked about this, it's called like layer one. Go ahead, I'll have the video linked in the description as well. Watch the whole thing, but this tool that will allow you to bridge essentially your crypto with Zeno technology and be able to use, let's say, Bitcoin Cash, which would probably be the most practical when they're doing Bitcoin Cash, and Ethereum, because of its low fee and usability, to use that in a private way, which I want to look more into. So Roger covered that as well. And overall, I was really impressed that Roger came out, swinging, and he came out swinging. He did not hold any punches, and definitely fought back very strongly and confidently on his case. And while you love to see that, that's also probably really pissing off the other side. But the other side now, has to deal with the fact that this is now in major media, and there's very influential people commenting on it. Probably the most influential person in the world right now, and Elon Musk. So that is a huge sign for Roger. And that's overall my reactions toward it. It's really, you feel bad that Roger's facing what he's facing. Me and Roger speak from time to time. He's a very incredibly nice person. I really am grateful for whatever time he gives me. I've asked him some mentoring questions in the past, and he's always been, he's probably got a lot of things on his plate, but he's always been extremely kind and considerate. And, I think we have a similar worldview, and I think that's created, I don't know. Thank you, Roger, for, your time. And as I know, time is the most scarce thing that we have, as you also talked about in that video. And, it means a lot to me. So anyways, moving forward, the word's getting out. Roger's unfortunately the one being sacrificed with, I couldn't imagine facing 109 years in jail, and he pretty much said that any day they could just knock on his door and the extradition will have taken place, and they'll just put him in handcuffs and send him to the United States to face trial. So living your life that way every day in a place that's not your home is probably not the most comfortable way to live, knowing you potentially face your entire life in prison. Roger, I hope it's worth it. In the end, if your case gets dismissed, unfortunately, either way, the word is getting out, and I hope the word continues to get out, and you continue to stay out of prison, be able to get this pardon, and this, be a huge sign of momentum, where now all this attention from this case can be carried on into building cryptocurrency to be peer-to-peer electronic cash. So that's my reaction. I feel like it's probable. Anything's possible. I think it's probable that the case gets pardoned. Obviously, they probably feel the same way because he clearly did try to pay the proper amount of tax. He hired professionals, did everything the right way, so to face 109 years of prison and see the DOJ should be the one going to jail. They've destroyed, client attorney privilege by going after the lawsuits to find more information, to try to find some way to make him a criminal, which is incredibly sad. And there's also lack of interpretation of crypto's value at the time too. Like I believe they were trying to value his crypto at such a high level when, let's say, for example, what I understand is if Roger was worth $100 million in Bitcoin, but the daily trading volume was only 10 million, he couldn't sell $100 million. There was nothing to sell there because the volume wasn't there. It would have totally crashed the market. So it's not really worth that. And it was such a small market, and there wasn't really, strict laws on crypto either. He wasn't even a citizen when they're saying this, tax implication of his selling of Bitcoins in 2017. He was not a citizen. So it's incredibly probable that he doesn't get anything. He did nothing criminal, and hopefully this just carries the momentum over, where we're hearing very anti-IRS narratives happen right now and try to simplify the tax code and make less people criminals, because all they're doing is creating criminals. The IRS is creating people to be criminals by having such a complex tax code. And is that by intent, or is that by not intelligent bureaucracy or inefficient bureaucracy in general? So hopefully that narrative continues. Again, I'm very excited for where things are at, seeing a tide turning. We've lived in a very big, powerful government state. Hopefully that we see a swing of momentum back to individual freedom, and where the government works for us and us not being constantly scared of them. So anyways, if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for future content, and I'm gonna get to work today. Also on my back wall here, you see Free Ross. Hopefully that is happening next month. This could be a really good time for freedom. Thank you guys.